Rediscovering America on the Appalachian Trail by Bill Bryson. This story is about a man's dream to walk the Appalachian Trail at a time in his life when people are really questioning that decision. Most people felt it was pretty crazy of him to think about this undertaking, but he wanted to challenge himself, and these hardships, this was going to be a tremendous feat that he was going to accomplish, and he would be one of those people that could sit around the table and talk about my manly accomplishments. So being able to say he did that, he's been there, done that, was something that he really would like to do. The Appalachian Trail encompasses 14 states, 2,100 miles of hard, difficult, sultry trails that take an average in-shape person probably months to complete. There are certain sultry, sometimes, weather conditions. They're very uncertain. You never know if you could be traveling along and all of a sudden walk into a snowstorm. There's also a diverse variety of wildlife and his friend, Stephen Katz. I love this author's writing style. He wrote in the first person perspective, and he captures throughout this book this enormous task of preparation for this trip and his difficult journey with lots of humor and self-evaluation. He did talk about how everything had impacted him and how he perceived everything as he went along. So it was very fascinating and very interesting. He also adds the contrast of personalities in this book with his longtime friend Stephen Katz, who accompanies him on this trip, which he calls Katz throughout the book and throughout telling his tale. And this Katz joins him in his journey. And this passage that I'm going to be reading you today is during the preparation of his 100-mile wilderness trek in northern Maine. And by listening to this passage, you're going to get the idea of how different these two men approached this task of preparing for this long journey. I had a brilliant idea, said Stephen Katz. We were in the living room of my house in Hanover. We were leaving for Maine in the morning. Oh yeah? I said, trying not to sound too weary, for ideas are Katz's strongest suit. You know how awful it is to carry a full pack? I nodded. Of course I did. I was there. Well, I was thinking about it the other day. In fact, I've been thinking about it a lot because, to tell you the truth, Bryson, the idea of putting that pack on again filled me with friggin' dread. Friggin' dread. And then I had a great idea, an alternative. Close your eyes. What for? I want to surprise you. I hate having to close my eyes for a surprise. Always have, but I did it. I could hear his rooting around in his army surplus duffel bag. Who carries a lot of weight all the time? That was the question I asked myself. Who carries a lot of weight day in and day out? And then it occurred to me. He was silent for a moment, as if making some crucial adjustment that would ensure a perfect impression. Okay, now you can look. I uncovered my eyes. Katz Des Moines Register newspaper delivery bag? The kind of bright yellow pouch that paper boys traditionally sling over their shoulder before climbing on their bikes and riding off to do their rounds. You can't be serious, I said quietly. Never been more serious in my life, my old mountain friend. I brought you one too. He handed me one from his duffel bag, still pristinely folded in a transparent wrapper. Stephen, you can't walk across the Maine wilderness with a newspaper delivery bag. Why not? It's comfortable, it's capacious, it's waterproof. Well, sort of. And it weighs about 4 ounces. It's the perfect hiking accessory. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you saw a paperboy with a hernia? He gave a small, smug nod as if that was going to stump me this time. Have you given thought to how ridiculous you look? Yep. I don't care. Have you considered what source of uncontained mirth you would be to every person you met? I don't give the tiniest shit. Well, has it occurred to you what a ranger would say if he found you setting off into the 100-mile wilderness with a newspaper delivery bag? Also, has it occurred to you that maybe the reason paper boys don't get hernia is that they carry the bag for an hour or so a day? Maybe it might not be so comforting to lugging it for 10 hours a stretch over the mountains. Maybe it would be endlessly banging against your legs and rub your shoulders raw. Look how it's chafing against your neck already. One positive thing about Katz and his notions, it was never very hard to talk him out of them. Okay, he agreed. Screw the bags. But we pack light. In reflection, I can certainly identify with Bryson and Kat's perspective in preparing for this incredible journey. Sometimes giving a speech at a Toastmasters meeting can even feel like preparing for the 100-mile wilderness. However, you just approach difficult things in your life with a duffel bag full of determination, the right tools, and a sense of humor. Above all, have fun. Try something challenging and be able to laugh at yourself. I say, whatever courage and fortitude it takes you to fulfill your dream, go for it. Take a walk in the woods. Thank you.